power, as you all read about these explosions and all the things that are going on. Why? By boring into the uranium atom. What power will we receive by boring into the spiritual eye? We receive the power of the universe. We do not realize what we have. The great saints do. And so understand that. Develop the spiritual eye, that you bore into there and tap the source of all things, God's great power. If you can do that, then you will realize that you have superseded your human will with God's great will. Now, one or two other things and then we'll be through. The important thing is this, that there is no limit, as I have said, to the power you can develop at the spiritual eye. For what purpose? I used to go to the Master and I wanted to see visions and all those things. And he said, why don't you ask God to reveal himself? And I said, that's right. That's more sensible. Having God, he can give me what he wants. He can give me what's best for me. He can give me everything. And so realize, as you develop contact with God at this power, there's no limit. There's no limit to what you can do. But one mistake we must not make. Many people do this. They jump first. They act first. Then they get into a mess and, Father, get me out. Get me out of the mess. These are truths. Therefore, what should we do? Make the contact with God first. Make the contact with him first. Get that communion with God. I will reason, I will act, but Father, give me the contact with you first. You understand? Don't jump first. Make the contact with God, and then, having his guidance, having the guidance of the Holy Ghost, the great Comforter, then you will utilize your power through will in the right way. And so, realize God is the secret of all power. God is what you want to change your human will to divine will. All power comes from him. Everything we do, all our functions go on because we are connected with God. Make the connection in a conscious way. And when you see the presence of God in you, as the holy vibration at this point is the light of his presence, or you hear the cosmic sound reverberating through you, or you feel in your heart his great divine love, understand you have made the connection with God. You have made the contact with God. Then what do? Then you demand, as his child, that his great power flow through you. Now, if you want to awaken the divine will within you, do just that. Make the contact first. Feel his presence within you. And then demand, as his child, which we are, that his great power flow through you. Then you will awaken within you divine will. And I will close by reading just a few lines from one of the Master's letters to me. I like to close with this because they are so wonderful and they apply not only to me but to every one of you. Every one of us is a child of God. No one has a corner on God. Thank God for that. No one has a corner on him like they do in politics and such things. God is open to all. He's ready to all. He's ready to allow everyone to utilize his divine will and his power. So Master, writing from Denver back in 1931, wrote these beautiful lines to me. He says, "Dear Doctor, I am more than ever with God." Now, if the Master found it necessary to be more and more with God, why shouldn't we? And so he says, "I am more than ever with God. I have entirely lost consciousness of defeats and victories, for God told me in Phoenix, when I asked that I wanted freedom from everything, he said, 'You are already free.'" Realize now what you're hearing. You are already free, but think you are not because you looked for freedom in the future. Isn't that wonderful? Tomorrow we're going to begin, we say, or next week. Or when conditions are better, then I'm going to meditate more. Now, as the Master says, you are already free, but think you are not because you look for freedom in the future. And then he ends with these beautiful words. Whether the dance of death or the dance of life comes at your doors, know that they come from me, and as such rejoice. No matter what comes, rejoice, it's from God. And then he ends with these words, thou hast me. What more dost thou want? Realize, thou hast me. You have God. I have God. What more do we want? Thou hast me. What more do you want? I am with thee always. God is with us always. We doubt it, that's all. We lose faith. God is with us always. These are the Master's words. And the Master ends, since then, he says, I cease to expect anything. If you know God is with you, and you feel that and know it in your soul, you won't expect anything. You have everything, because you have God. So awaken your divine will by making the God contact, and then demanding as his child, Father, thou art with me, I have everything. I am your child.
In order to profit from these practical teachings in a meaningful way, which will have a definite and tangible impact in your life, we suggest that you subscribe to the Self-Realization Fellowship's home study course on the science of yoga. Please visit the SRF on the web at yogananda-srf.org or call the SRF's Mother Center in Los Angeles, California at 323-225-2471.